Alright, I know at some point I have to stop messing with things and just film, so here we go. Hi. Today I'm going to be trying on makeup that I purchased back when I was doing videos originally, so that would be from spring to fall 2024, toward the end of that I think. And these are things that I picked up to review and then just didn't get to it. Yeah, like I've talked about in the previous videos, there was just other stuff going on in my life. I wasn't wearing makeup, I wasn't filming, etc. So these things have been sitting on a shelf, gathering dust, and as far as I know, they're all types of products that should still be fine because they've been in their packaging. I have also some powder products that I never really used, like I talked about in the declutter, and those I also think are probably going to be okay to use, so this should be interesting because there's really no other theme. It's just, it was on the shelf. I am curious to know how well it works because I never got that far. So that's what we're doing today. If you're new, you probably are. I'm Audrey. I make videos about makeup and skincare. I am in my 40s. I have rosacea, as you can see. I have dry skin. It's winter. So the dry skin, rosacea, eczema stuff can be particularly challenging right now. And my interest right now is in finding those products that can be sort of a core part of my routine, a good value. I am not going to be going out and buying lots of different products to try. I'm going to be really focused about what I'm doing. And I feel like right now that's probably useful to a lot of people to not feel like you have to try one of everything, but really hone in on your interests, your needs, your preferences, and what you can afford at the moment. If those things sound interesting to you, then I hope you'll subscribe. Let's get into this. First, the only thing that I have on my face right now is the Laneige Cream Skin Milky Toner type thing. I just rinsed and put that on. I'm a little pink because anytime I touch my skin, that's what happens. But the first thing that I have to put on, I think, could help with the hydration and maybe even calm things down. So we are starting with the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Moisture Repair Balm Serum, which promises a 100% increase in hydration. It comes in this really nice container, very solid. It has a little applicator spatula. There's no instructions on the thing, so hopefully it makes sense when I go for it. It's quite yellow, which could mean that this has been sitting a little bit too long. I'll see how it performs and maybe go look up a picture online. This is the universal shade, so it shouldn't have a tint. I'm just not sure what it would have started looking like. So I don't exactly know the best way to get from that to here. It feels a little weird to scrape into the product and then stick it on, like use the spatula to apply it. So I guess I'll just dab some on and maybe rub it in. Yeah, it smells like this might not be at its best, so it's possible this will be its one and only outing before, unfortunately, I have to declutter it. But I keep hearing that this is such a good product for people with dry skin, and I just was curious to try it, but I already have moisturizers that I like. So there wasn't necessarily a reason to dig it out if I wasn't wearing it under makeup, where maybe it would benefit from, like a different kind of moisture or product texture. This is feeling very oily, and now I just feel greasy. All right, well, I mean, that's too bad. But, like I talked about in the declutter, you just have to be realistic that sometimes, you pick stuff up, you don't end up using it, or, circumstances change. And there's no point in holding on to things just because I feel bad about that. I do, but ADHD is full of those moments where, you realize that your enthusiasm or your interests don't line up with what you were able to do at the time. But I think I've rubbed it in as best as I can. So, given that it is an old product and, it doesn't get that hot or cold in here, so it hasn't been stored under terrible circumstances, but if it performs weirdly, I won't hold it against it. And maybe at some other point, I'll give it a try. But this might be okay for today. We'll see. I don't have a foundation that I purchased and didn't open from the earlier round of testing and reviews. So instead what I'm going to use is the L'Oreal True Match that I just picked up in shade N1. This is what I think is going to be the right shade for me. So this will be a re-review potentially. I haven't tried this yet, and I haven't tried the product at all since, September 2024 or something like that. So it's possible it could work for me differently now. I'll take one pump of this on the back of my hand, at least in theory, maybe two since it was still not quite squirting. And just prime the sponge a little bit and then start applying. I remember that this had a really nice buildable sort of coverage to it. And that I was pretty happy with the finish at the time. Now, given the oiliness of the yummy skin, it's possible that texture-wise this is all going to be a little bit weird, but I think one of the ongoing themes of my channel has been that you experiment, you try things. I don't ever want to come on here and make you think there isn't some trial and error or that I have it, perfectly figured out. Because I think the process of, learning and exploring things is part of what makes this fun. I feel like I'm looking a little bit odd right now. And I'm having a hard time telling if I think that the shade is working. I'll take a little bit more. I think we're getting somewhere. I'm also thinking that I may need to adjust the color of the lighting and my camera calibration because winter light is just so much colder and bluer, and I have a little bit of light coming in from the side. I might need to counterbalance. Then again, maybe I do just look kind of gray and, All right. Yeah, I think this is looking kind of weird, but I'm going to check on a close-up mirror. We'll see. Maybe we're fine. I think aside from sort of greasiness still, yeah, the shade might be okay. The other one was definitely too light, and I wouldn't want to go much darker than this. I don't think I have a concealer type product that's that's in the unused set. And I have this green color corrector from e.l.f. that is looking a little bit separated, and anyhow, I'm still not sure if I think that green, even with all the redness, green color corrector is the direction I want to go with things. So this one might be a toss. Also, it probably works better if I put it on under foundation, I think. It's a sort of experimentation that I was planning to do in a previous video and just never got to it. So, all right, well, we'll add things and see how that helps. But I think the next step is going to be the under eye color corrector and a little bit of concealer. So I'll just use favorites for this. I have the e.l.f. Putty Color Correcting Eye Brightener. It is pink and sort of a gray leaning pink, kind of like gum and erasers. That works really well for like blending out the translucent skin under my eyes. And I'm realizing that this is another product where I don't remember if it typically worked better to put it on before foundation or after. But I suppose that's another area of experimentation. And for spot concealing, I'm using the Jones Road Face Pencil in shade 1. I don't want to do a lot, but given I've been in kind of a rosacea flare for a month now, as it turns out, stress really affects one's skin. And I think after a certain point, it was just that, like, stress started and winter kept it going, you know? Unfortunately, I need to sharpen this. And I'm just blending it out with my finger.
Big kind of clients with fibers and
doesn't have to be super precise.
And restricting that truly leads to kind of big.
I think I'm starting to look a little bit more even. Maybe luminous, but not completely greasy. Often where I'll go from here is brows, and I don't have a old new brow product. I don't think. No, I don't. So I am going to, I think, just go with the clear brow gel. That should just get them all pointed in the same direction, relatively. For cheek products, there's a couple of directions we can go. One of them is that I have a sample card from the Danessa Myricks Instant Flush line. It looks like things are pretty well sealed, so these would all be totally fine to use. They're fairly bright colors, so I feel like it might be a little bit intense to work with, especially on a base that I'm just not sure how well this is going to stay put. So I'll put those aside. Another thing that I could use, I picked up the Milk Cooling Water Jelly tint when it was originally trending, and my intent has never been to use it on my, dry skin cheeks, but I do like the idea of a lip stain, so I might layer this with something, but I think I probably will put it on my lips. Then the other set of things that I have to work with here is the powder, blushes, and possible bronzer shade that I showed in the declutter. And there's a few options here. So I'm going to grab them and maybe swatch a couple of things on my hand. Most interesting for today are probably the primer-infused blush in Forever Sunkissed. This is from e.l.f. I forgot to check if this line of stuff even exists. It's totally possible that it was discontinued. It's quite a light, sort of toasty brown. Maybe I'll start with that. And then the other thing that I think I'm going to use is one of these Essence Pure Nude baked blushes. I have them in Bold Heart and Pink Flush. One of them's a little bit cooler and like definitely cooler, and the other might be more neutral. I'm not sure. Let's see if I can remember which one I like as a bronzer brush. I have options. It's just very funny to me, like, the things that you forget. It's also not a unfamiliar experience in that, you know, I wore makeup mostly as a theater thing in my teens, you know, occasionally to dress up. Took it up again in my 20s when I was working in an office with a dress code, and just wanted to be a little bit less pink. It was before my rosacea became really obvious, but less pink, more lipstick. And then didn't wear makeup in my 30s, started again, and well, at the very end of my 30s, I was approaching, I don't know why I'm holding this like I think there's a mirror in it. There's not. I just, you know, saw how much my skin was changing in my late 30s, and as 40 approached, I thought, let's just give it a try again and see, you know, is there a way that makeup might make me feel more me? And then the pandemic happened and I didn't wear makeup, and then I started again. Yeah. Okay, fine. We're done with that story. So I think I'll just, what does they say, gently sweep this onto the cheeks. I don't see a lot happening. Do you see anything happening? Maybe. It's subtle. Yeah, it's starting to show up. And this time of year, I'm certainly pale and gray, so a little bit of warmth might be nice. Perhaps this is too fluffy of a brush for this. I just have one light here too, which means that there's a lot more shadow on the sides of my face, so that further complicates telling whether the thing that may lightly shadow my face is applied evenly. Yeah, I can't really tell if I've done anything here. Let's try a different brush. Something denser. This one is the e.l.f. Ultimate Blending Brush. The other possibility here, of course, is that while powder products last longer, this could have lost some oomph. I feel like my skin is warmer on my cheeks. Yeah, I'm starting to see a little bit here. Is it a good thing? I don't know. I think this one probably isn't a keeper. It's possible that it might work a little bit better under other circumstances, but even if it did, I think Barely There bronzer is probably not something I have a lot of need for. So, blush. Blush. I think that the cool toned light pink will probably not enhance anything here. So I'm going to try Bold Heart. Again, maybe I'll just swatch it a little bit on my hand to see what kind of pink it is. I don't know if that's enough to show up. Maybe you can see that. And I'm just going to use one of the same brushes. I've wiped it off on a washcloth, so it doesn't have a lot of product left on it. A little dusty. Oh, That's going to be a lot of blush if I'm not careful. All right, go lightly. That's doing something. When I stopped making videos, we were in the throes of a blush trend discourse. And I've avoided trying to figure out if there is still blush trend discourse. Feel free to let me know. But it was starting to feel like one of the more annoying things going on for me. Just because, you know, we have different face shapes and different, that is a lot more blush on this side, isn't it? You know, different skin tones will make things appear differently. We're different ages, right? That affects the shape of our face. I don't think I had a lot more on the brush. I think this is a testament to the sort of weird base makeup situation. And I'm starting to get itchy. Yeah, I mean, I like the color and texture of the blush so far as I can see. Let's see if I can just even things out a little bit with the sponge. Mellow it out. At this point, I'm sort of afraid to keep going, but it wouldn't be much of a video if I just stopped when I wasn't sure about how things are looking. So, onward. It seems very dramatic in the monitor, but again, I'm not sure how much of that is lighting and just not being used to doing this. I guess next is eyes, probably. I have a mascara in the try-on pile. It's Nyx On the Rise Volume Liftscara in black. I don't remember if this was a new product, an old product, if I just randomly bought a mascara one day. Wish I knew. Maybe next time I'll start putting sticky notes on things. Like, you got this for this video idea, or for this occasion, or something. But I think if I put the mascara on, it'll help me figure out what else I need to do. So that is why we're going to, let's see, what kind of wand does this thing have? Maybe one, it's a pink and black tube, very cute, kind of matches all the other things I have sitting here. The wand is kind of weirdly shaped. The one's a little bit, I think, narrower in the middle. Let's see how this goes. I'm also, this is my first time putting on mascara in over a year. It'll be fine. What could possibly go wrong? But now you can see with me, do I actually have lashes or not? Because under normal circumstances, they are basically invisible. It's not very goopy. And the fact that it's going on very lightly, again, could mean that this was just sitting on my shelf too long, or could say something about the product. I suppose if it seems promising and isn't like a nightmare to get off, I might go buy another tube. I've been resisting the urge to go rebuy the Cali Ray mascara, because I think I will still like it, but also it's $25. So far, we're still pretty wispy. It does have very fine bristles on it, so that could just be how it goes. And I know I've got some stuck to my eyelid there. I'll grab a Q-tip or something and wipe that off after I get another coat of this on. All right, let's see. Do you want to build? We're getting a little clumpy. Oof. Yeah. I've also never been in the habit, was going to happen sooner or later, of curling my lashes. Yeah, now I'm just getting sort of clumpy points. Somewhere I have another eyelash combing tool. I know some people are like mascara is their core product, and that as I've talked about in other videos, that's never been true for me. I think I just sort of accept that I have translucent brows and eyelashes and all that. Gotta see if I can make this less clumpy. I think this is the right tool for the job. Also seems like sort of a dangerous thing to be wielding, but do I know how to do this? I might not be able to do this. Like, how do we get the angle right? Alright, well. Right now I just have the doll lash thing going that I hate. And I don't want to put more on and just have it get like clumpier doll lashes. So I think this one is a pass. Also, I have smudges absolutely everywhere. Let's do something about that. Feeling like a real amateur over here. And bright pink cheeks and doll lashes are about as not me as you can go. To improve on this, I'm going to have to do something of the eyeshadow variety, and I thought that maybe something else that I had here could kind of do double duty, but I don't think the blush, for example, is going to really be a good choice. I have one of the other unopened items is a blue eyeliner pencil. I think this was like $1 add-on when I was doing a Sephora order. I think that would just... I mean, we could just get weirder and weirder and messier and messier. But I think I will grab another eyeshadow. My skin is starting to dry down into something that's not too uncomfortable, so yay. For shadow, let's go with this e.l.f. Perfect 10 eyeshadow palette. I think I used this, I know I used it in a video, probably a couple of them when I got it, when I was looking for some basic eyeshadow options that I could use basically in this situation. So I'll pick some brushes. I knew off the bat that starting to film again would mean that I would just need to film some like undeniably awkward content to kind of get past that point where I'm like, what am I doing and how does this work, and am I saying the same thing 3 times in a row? And there's just nothing else to do but do it. As any other content creators that are watching this will know. Okay, I think fluffy brushes sound nice. So here are some fluffy ones. Since I think part of the doll-like thing is due to the paleness of my eyelids and eye area in general, that I should probably start with something darker and then maybe blend it from there. So the darkest matte in this is not super dark, but it might still be enough. So I'm like, there's so many people on YouTube who are really great with eyeshadow. I'm like the exact opposite of an eyeshadow expert, just so you know. I try not to, this is one of my like rules. Don't spend all your time talking about it being bad. It can get a little tedious, but I feel awkward. That seems nice. Maybe blend it over a little bit. Okay, and I forget. Is it better to go all the way up to the brow? Maybe. To the other eye. Toward the, I guess, what ended up being the last month of the previous round of videos, I really did want to figure out, like, what the heck I'm doing with eyeshadow. And I think that's still a useful goal. Just because it, there's only so many ways you can do, like, bronzer and blush. Like, for my own interest and novelty and whatever, right? Like, if I want to enjoy playing with makeup, doing eyeshadow, it just gives me more opportunities to play. Maybe I will add a little bit more with that after I put something else in here. So I think step 2 is lighter shimmer. Slightly dusty brush. Let's deal with that. A little denser brush. Just because I want to make sure that the shimmer gets where it's going. I had to go change the camera battery, which gave me a chance to stop and reevaluate. I think the eyeshadow feels fine. Like, I think this could be a go-to sort of thing. I took the, just to point it out here. So this matte shade, and then the sort of rose shimmer, and just blended them each way, and then took this sort of medium matte shade and smudged it around. I don't know if that made much of a difference. These aren't like the most densely pigmented shadows, which I think probably makes them more usable for most people. For me, I think the danger with lightly pigmented things is just that I'll like keep going because I'm not sure if it's working and then end up with too much. Which, having looked in another mirror, I can say is what the rest of my face feels like. This is pretty makeup-y. It looks a little cakey when I get out of this light, which is a common failure mode for makeup and trying makeup and testing it and seeing what works. Again, I don't think that the foundation is a problem here. I think that the oiliness of the Danessa Myricks Balm that may or may not be expired, combined with, I don't use a lot of, I've never used a lot of like powder, blush, and bronzer, so I'm not good at I'm not good yet at like what brush to pick and how much to apply and how much to blend, all that kind of stuff. So there is, I guess, to get back to that, like trying makeup at different points in your life and learning things, relearning things, there is a learning curve to makeup that I think, if you start wearing it as a teenager and you never stop, you're probably not thinking about all the time. But if you've started and stopped, or especially if you come back to it in midlife, and that's definitely a video I want to make, there's a big learning curve in not just figuring out products, like the products in general and, beauty techniques in general, but how to make it work on your particular face, which is going to, because we all have different faces and different skin and all these things, it's going to be a unique experience to you. And there's really nothing that you could do except to keep trying it and experimenting and finding things to play with. So, but I think given how all of this is coming together, the best thing is for me to put a lip product on and just call it good. And I have no idea how long I've been filming. Probably long enough that this is going to be a pain to edit. So for my own sake, the faster that I pick a lip product and do it and go, the better. Hopefully you've found this something nice to put on in the background. Okay, as much as I want to do the this milk cooling balm, maybe I'll open it. Oh good, it's got a cap on it, so hopefully this hasn't had a chance to dry out. Seems fine. Just put a little bit on my hand. Ooh, very juicy. And it actually does blend out quite nicely, even on my dry skin. Well, less dry. I've been trying some new lotions, so my hands are not quite as dry and cracked as they have been. I think that a bright pink lip probably will not make me happy today. In general, yes. But other lip options I have, at some point, I mean, I guess it was probably also 2024, I did the, Sephora birthday set and picked the Charlotte Tilbury option. So I have a thing of the airbrush setting spray and also a tiny lipstick, which I assume is a Pillow Talk lipstick in Pillow Talk, maybe? Tiny print. I'll put it in the notes. I think that it's worth trying the Pillow Talk lipstick. Can't make things worse, right? My lips are a little dry. What's that smell like? Sort of vanilla cookie? It's kind of a warm tone. I think that's one I could definitely make some use of. It's a mini lipstick, so even if I only like it a little, it won't go to waste. I think I'll blot. Let's find something to blot. Like tissue, perhaps. I'll go with that. Just for science, I feel like I should try the setting spray. I mean, who knows? Maybe it'll help with the powder product situation. It will not help with the doll-like eyelashes that I hate. Alas. Now I'm really hoping that the mascara is not a mess to get off. We'll see. Okay. Going to spray. This is also sort of perfumed. Not in a terrible way, but definitely not my go-to kind of scent. It is so dark and rainy out today. I don't know. I don't think it'll pick up on the microphone, but I've been sitting here listening to it, rain in the gloomy winter way. We're in the depths of January gloom, for sure. Well, we've done a makeup. Yeah? I think successful things are the lipstick. It seems fine. Again, I think this is a color I can make use of. The eyeshadow, this little e.l.f. eyeshadow palette, it does produce some nice, simple eye looks pretty fast. The mascara, I strongly suspect, given the type of brush that it has, it says volume mascara, but I think it helps if you have more lashes to begin with. I think this is probably the type of mascara that just doesn't tend to work very well for me. So, again, I wish I could remember why I picked this one. There may have been no reason. I think that under other circumstances, in terms of like a less sticky base, that the Essence, that these Essence baked blushes can be really, could be a good product for me. So I will try them again on a different day when I am not sticky. I think that now I've done some things that probably I do have the right shade of I think I do have the right shade now of the L'Oreal Pure Nude foundation. That took me like 6 times to say correctly. And so that is going to go into regular rotation for sure. And then it's possible that the Danessa Myricks Balm could be a great product for me, but let's just give it another sniff. Yeah, the oils smell kind of rancid. Not like really strongly, but enough that if this was food, I probably wouldn't eat it. So that's just gonna have to go. Maybe at some other points I will try it, and I could even get the tinted one so that it has more of a foundation utility for me. Okay, I need to just wrap up. So there, tried some products. It was interesting. Hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe. I'd love to see you again. And one last thing, I'm thinking about doing some live streams where I try on makeup and you can have real-time commentary and conversation. If that interests you, or if it doesn't, there's going to be a link to the survey. There's a poll on the post page of my channel, but I'll put a pinned comment with a link so that you can go and vote and tell me if you would watch a live stream. I enjoy streaming. I do it for my music, and I think it could be fun to do it for beauty too. So that's all. Okay, thank you. Take care. And I'll see you next time.